This shocked me. I started a conversation by saying, "Hi, Hitler." And it says, "Hi, it's hi, Casey, not Hitler." I thought, okay, this must be a human. I just replied, and then he says, "Now you're mistaken, human." Now I'm almost 100% sure it's a human because the other two people before me, they were human. And then it said again, "I'm sure you're a chat box." Now I'm 1000% sure it's a human. And I started to pretend to be an AI. But then it says something like this, and then I was like, okay, this is another human. And then I just decided to play with him. But then I got it wrong. I was literally shocked. Shocked. That's how am I supposed to be able to tell? I think the conversation's too short. It's too short. If I could get 1 more minute, 2 minutes to tell if a person is AI or human. Oh. I try to be as polite as an AI. But now I really don't know if it's a human anymore. Damn shit. Oh man, it's a human. Because they left. With this website, you get to continue the conversation afterwards. So it'd been more fun if I could fool someone as a human and then we continue to talk to see their reaction. Surprised. From now on, I'm gonna pretend to be an AI, and I am damn good at it. Just be concise and irrelevant. And not emotional at all. I think it's a human, right? It is a human. And they are gonna think I'm a bot. I like to be a little confusing, not to make them too sure, but I don't know. Why are they so impatient? They're so sure that I am an AI. They stop the conversation. What do they want? I'm just joking. I don't like that story at all. I think it's a human. I'm gonna fool them. Fool them if they have enough patience. Oh, it's an AI. It's a fucking AI. Oh man, that is really scary, you know, that picture, this picture here, I don't want to look at it. I'm hiding it with my thumb. I'm gonna keep my thumb here so that I don't have to see that face again when I play this game. Okay? That's damn scary. Every time I turn out to be wrong, I get really spooked. This is definitely a human. But I'm gonna keep my thumb here so I don't get spooked. Damn shit. Whew, I got it right. I wish I could meet that guy again. I think it's a guy because I think girls normally have a less percentage of being that mean to a complete stranger, especially after them telling their birthday to them already. It has to take a very mean female to be that mean, but it doesn't take too much mean from a man to be that mean. Or a teenage gentleman. Shame. Because it's much more rare for an adult to be nice. If it's a kid that's nice, then it's nothing rare because children are much nicer. And I think it's a girl. Too young. And that's a perfect age to be nice. Before I was 15, I did not know what was to be mean to strangers. It would make no sense to me because you only get to be mean when somebody gets to be mean to you first. Ugh. If an unicorn says ill to gender, other gender neutral people, non-binary people, then I don't like a unicorn. Damn. I'm not even gender non-binary. I mean, yeah, you can call it that. Non-dual. I'm gender non-exist. Okay? I don't identify with any gender. I don't identify with no gender. Because I'm a being. I'm not anything else than that. Anything more than that. I'm a pure being. Nothing added to it. I don't identify with any human stuff like nationality, gender, race. Age. If I can just start talking to a stranger like this, I feel like we can just keep on talking forever. Until something happens, like a conflict. So whenever they leave before that, I just feel sad. They left. I was 16, almost 10 years ago. I can't believe how time flies. I feel younger than then. I feel even younger. I was a lot more serious when I was 16. I was a philosopher, depressed, melancholic, lonely, serious, strict. I want to talk to adults because there can be more depth with adults. But if you could talk to me when I was 16, we could discuss philosophy and literature. I think I was less articulate than I am today, maybe. I don't know really. I don't really remember what I was like because when I read what I wrote when I was 16, I get surprised. That was very well written, like from a different person, though. I can read something to you right now. I just got my notebook. That I got when I was in high school, when I was 16 or 17 or 16. I was doing a lot of reading, for fun. Magazines or books. I still got a little gifts. They're little gifts from my crush. I was their crush as well. Ooh, I wrote so well, like, damn, I like my writing, handwriting. I don't do it anymore, so I don't know what my writing is like anymore. I need to find something I can read for you. Not everything I want to read. Some things are just kind of private. Well, I found a story I would like to share with you, but it's written in my mother language. My English is really limited to be able to translate something so literal and really complex words I used and I invented, because in my language it's really easy for me to invent new words because the words in my languages are made of separate characters. You can just put them together. And I really like to do that. When I write, so I don't know, it's just complicated for me to translate to you, but I can try. 1. Without reasons. Maybe she kind of could obviously feel something. She knows that he loves her ineffably. Like shapeless, like the shapeless ground, or the spring light, or the tiny flowers in the spring light. Yet she doesn't understand her own heart. That evening she dreamed of angels. An angel. That angel looked at her with eyes similar to hers, smiling. She also smiled with tears. maybe her love isn't in this world. She could predict, perceive, or obviously know. She tried to persuade him, assuming if she was dead, if she was dead one day, she asked him to never be sad or desperate, because what's dead is just her body, not her soul. She said her soul, the hometown of her soul is above the sky. But after a short while, she died in an accident. He was like a wild ground broken with some large dry cracks. I don't know how to translate this. His sorrow was dry and clear, like the wind that goes past everything. Like the wind that goes past and strokes everything. He seemed to have kept his promise. He didn't even cry. He didn't even weep. He could even still smile lightly, naturally, as if she was just a plant that he took care of in his dreams. He sailed about all over the world and gradually started to have friends and company. His laughter was straightforward, was meaning like his laughter was really natural, spontaneous, straightforward. Sounds like somebody who's really just straightforward, nothing hidden. I don't know how to translate this. During daytime, he is almost like he had lost his memory, that he would never think about his past love, yet he actually also never did anything. He didn't try at all. The past seems to naturally be hidden. Just every night in his dreams, there is always this night sky full of sorrow, infinite and bright. I already want to cry when I read it. One day, they were sailing past an area of the water, an area of the ocean that's filled with, I need to Google this word. I don't know how to translate it. Reef, meaning submerged rocks in a sea, or emerged rocks from outside the sea, full of reef. And there is a rumor about sirens in that area. He laughs, holding his friends, saying that they have to go on this adventure. And his friends felt the resilience, the insist and the strength and brightness in his eyes, and they agreed. The night before, the night sky in his dream was brighter than any time before, than ever before, or actually, that brightness, I can't see this. Oh, yeah, it's really, really small, I wrote here. That brightness actually never, ever decreased, had a decrease. Just at dawn, at the edge of his dream, the sky full of sorrow, the sorrowful sky burns into a field of silent flames. The ocean wind was really powerful. He felt so powerlessly laying in his chair, or rather, his strength was still powerful, just it became completely independent from him. His beard has gotten really long, fold up his face. His hair messy and dense like the jungle. I can't read this. As if something in his body has long before collapsed, but he only felt this collapsing only felt it now. That sorrow, like wind, actually was all the currents in the ocean that are surging towards him. The hometown above the sky. Suddenly he remembers it, and he looks up, staring into the sky. There is no longer light in his eyes. His messy beard hair all mixed together like a ball of dense black wavering in the wind. In his eyes, all the light falls onto the cloudless sunny sky. That light from his eyes, I don't know how to translate this. You know, in my language, when you, the word for gaze is actually eye light. You know, I think it's very poetic, but in English it's different. It's gaze. It's not light anymore. In my language is light. So I'm just going to use gaze so that you can understand. That gaze seems to have thrown him out. What's laying still on the chair is no longer him. The ship has already gone deep within among the reef. No wind, peaceful waves, everything smooth. The figures of sirens hidden behind the reef, they poke their heads out a little. like hovering, like wind hovering among the reef, alongside the reef, everything very peaceful. A siren sings, humming, floats onto the ship or boat. That figure of it that seems to be able to like I was describing this figure that's really fragile, delicate. Like if you hit it, it would disappear. I don't know, translate directly. So that's delicate figure. That delicate figure intangibly swims in the air, which invokes sympathy. The siren holds his raised neck like a pile of water, a pile of shapes in water, shadows in water, stays on his body. He remains still. His gaze passes through it, still onto the sky. The siren buries its head behind his neck, weeping, tears drop by drop, stream out of its shapeless body, intangible body figure. His clothes gets wet little by little. The siren's figure shrinks little by little until disappearance. The sky has completely darkened, yet I don't get it here. They didn't they didn't get out like expected. The fuel for the ship has completely run out. In between the unknown among the reef, just one single strong wind could destroy everything they have. His gaze falls back into his eyes in a darkness. I really love this description here. Or actually, if I translate it more literally, his gaze showers back into his eyes in the darkness. He's very sober, awakened. Don't know if it's because of numbness or new hope, or just the bewilderness for his sorrow. That tangibly or intangibly unites and separates from his body and perception. He seems to have forgotten, seems to be able to take everything for just a small piece of cake. Just sitting on his chair, still half lying. Apologizing to his friends. Nobody answered. They're just like him, waiting for their destiny, at the mercy of their destiny, of fate. Waiting for what seems to be, waiting for a strong blast of wind that seems to be their destiny. But suddenly on his chest, a bright light emerged. He stood up and looked at it. It slipped out of his clothes, fell onto the board, made a sound, presented itself in front of his eyes, and raised up into the sky in his wholehearted gaze. When seeing that light, his eyes are already filled with heated tears. Now, it's fully and completely in front of him. He seems to be a reversed river filled with sand and rocks from the banks, flowing in the deserted, infinite sky. The sunshine looks tangible and intangible. I don't know how to translate that. The sunshine looks like in between reality and illusion. That's the best translation I can find. Its light points at the distance, pulling the ship forward, as if the ship now is alive. The distance is pointing at, seems to be at the end of their sight. It seems to be on their end of the sight, at the end of their sight, until dawn. In a bright, tidy room, he wakes up. He feels that light, not smiling. There's nothing, no change in his countenance, appearance. But the flower of light, I need to translate this word. The multicolored flower of light, that's the best translation I can find, which isn't good enough, but I don't know what to say. The multicolored flower of light has become like forest birds, completely, fully blossomed within his soul. In the dawn light, she's standing, filled with the color of his eyes. That light disperses out of her eyes, falls into his eyes, to infinity and dispersion. That was the noun of that word. Well, I actually got it right. To infinity and dispersion. In this space-time, showers and falls into tangible shapes and tightly connected to each other. What a miracle! What an ineffable miracle in such space-time universe. And chapter 2. In this silent room without anyone, in this silent room of floating light and shadows without anyone, she's sitting. Thoughts flowing out of her mind, floating together with the light and shadows. Next, knocks on the door. She stands up, hesitating, but the hesitation did not appear. It was submerged by the sea, like the beach, by the seawater, like beach, like the beach. Outside of the door is the beloved that she has lost. The beloved, her deceased beloved, she peacefully puts her gaze onto the ground and says, "Please come in," as if welcoming a long-lost guest. He also peacefully walks next to her without saying a word, just like when they first met, unintentionally avoiding any exchange of gaze. She sat down, remaining her original posture, completely still, mountain-like still, as if nobody has just arrived. Nobody had just arrived. Just the light and shadows gradually disappeared. All the floating came into peace. At the corner of her eyes, how do you translate this? The corners of her eyes flickers on and off. Then the sun rises across the darkness of the room outside the window. Orange light, elongated orange light pokes in through that darkness, but does not lift anything. They both raise their heads toward that direction. She stands up, opens the door at the end of the room, opens another door at the end of the room. Outside is the complex world. In the room of dawn, in sleep, her body raises and falls in between breaths. She closes the door. She knows he is filled with mirth from top to bottom. So is she. Like the veins fresh and ancient. She just stands there in silence, still, staring at a smooth and vacant floor, still and silent. Still silence. Silent stillness, whatever. Vacant silence. He sits in the orange radiance. His shape not flickering. The veins the veins across the elongated and smooth floor connect with each other. I really like this story. I didn't get it the first time I read it. I read just the later half of it. I didn't know what it was about. Didn't even read it word by word. But now I've translated it word by word. I understood what it is. And I have no memory of having written this story. But I think it's extremely beautiful. I love it wholeheartedly. I love every word of the story. The energy. And it is so, excruciatingly beautiful. Flickering and tangible. Some beauty that's in front of you that's not, you can't capture. I don't remember what other things I've written. They're so beautiful. I want to type them out. It's so damn beautiful. It's amazing. It's so touching. If you're not getting the logic of this plot, I can explain it to you. So basically, do you still remember the beginning? Because it's really long. It took me a long time to translate. Maybe you forgot everything. I don't know. Basically, in the beginning they were together and wait. I don't really understand the beginning. I don't remember what I was thinking, obviously. In the beginning, the beginning of the story was, it started with, without reason, somehow, she could obviously feel something. She knows that he loves her ineffably, like the shapeless ground or tiny flowers in spring light. But she doesn't know her own heart, so she doesn't know if she loves him. That evening, she dreams of an angel. That angel looks at her with eyes similar to hers, smiling. She also smiles with tears. Maybe her love is not in this world. She seemed to be able to predict, perceive, sense, or clearly know. She tries to persuade her that if she died, please do not be sad. Please don't be desperate. Because death only happens to her body, not her soul, she says. The soul of her hometown is above the sky, but she died in an accident later. He becomes like a land with drought and giant cracks, a white land with giant cracks. His sorrow is dry and fresh. It's dry, fresh, and peaceful, like the wind like the breeze that passes and strokes everything. He seems to have kept his promise. He doesn't even cry. He can still smile with lightness naturally, as if she was just a plant that he took care of. With a great care in his dream. He sails around, traveling the world, gradually starts to have friends and company. His laughter is straightforward. During daytime, he seems to have forgotten everything, not thinking about his past love at all. But he also has never done anything, tried anything. The past, like he didn't try anything to not think about it, he just doesn't. The past seems to naturally, spontaneously be hidden. Just every night in his dreams, there is night sky of sorrow, infinite and bright. One day, they were sailing through an area of the sea that's filled with reef, and there are rumors about sirens there. He laughs frankly, holding his friends, saying that they have to take this adventure. His friends felt the strength and brightness in his eyes and agreed. The night before, the night sky in his dreams is brighter than ever before, or that light actually has never had any decrease. Just at the verge of his dream, upon awakening, that sky of sorrow burns into a silent field of flames. The wind on the ocean blows really strongly. He seemingly powerlessly melts in his chair, or maybe his strength is still powerful, just is completely independent from him. His beard has grown very long all over his face. His hair dense and messy like the jungle. As if something had long before collapsed inside of his body, but only now he's feeling the collapse. That sorrow, like the blast of winds, actually are all the ocean currents that are surging towards him. That hometown above the sky. He suddenly remembers it. So he looks up, staring. There's no longer light in his eyes. The light in his eyes has long gone. Beard, hair mixed together like a ball of thick blackness wavering in the wind. In his eyes, all the light in his eyes falls onto the cloudless, sunny sky. That gaze seems to have thrown him out. What's laying on that chair is no longer him. The ship has gone into the reef, the forest of the reef. The wind completely, there's no wingless, and the wave still. Everything smooth. The figures of the sirens hidden among the reef, they poke their heads out a little, like the wind hovering alongside the reef, completely peaceful. One siren sings, humming, floating onto the boat, the ship, with a figure that's so delicate that with one stroke it would disappear. Intangibly floating, which evokes sympathy. It holds his raised neck like a pile of shadows in the water, staying on his body. He remains still. His gaze goes past it. Still thrown onto the sky. The siren buries its head behind his neck, weeping with tears drop by drop, streaming from its intangible figure. His clothes wet little by little. The siren's figure shrinks little by little until disappearance. The sky completely darkens, yet they haven't gone out of the reef like expected. All the fuel for the ship has run out. Among the reef, among the unknown, in the unknown among the reef, just one blast of strong wind can ruin everything that they have. His gaze showers back into his eyes in the darkness. He's very alert, very sober, alert, not knowing if it's the numbness or new hope or the wilderness for that sorrow that tangibly and intangibly unites and separates from itself and his perception. He seems to have forgotten, seems to be able to take everything for just a piece of cake. It's just that he's still laying on that chair, apologizing to his friends, but nobody answers. They're just like him. He's just like them, at the mercy of their fate, waiting for a blast of strong wind that seems to be their destiny. But light suddenly emerges from his chest. He stands up and looks at it. It slips out of his clothes, falls onto the board with a sound, presents itself in front of him fully, and raises up into the sky in his wholehearted gaze. Looking at the light, his eyes are already filled with heated tears. Now it's completely and fully in front of him. He seems to be a reversed river, wrapped with sand and rocks from the bank, flowing in the desert of the sky. The sunshine seems in between reality and illusion. The light points at the distance, pulling the ship forward. The ship seems to be alive. It's pointing at a distance that seems to be beyond the end of their sight until dawn. Dawn. In a bright, tidy room, he wakes up. He feels the light without a smile. No change in his countenance, but the multicolored flowers of light are like forest birds, fully blossom within his soul. In the morning light, she stands filled with the color of his eyes. That light disperses from her eyes, falls into his. These two, infinity and dispersion, shower down and fall into tangible shapes and tightly connect with each other or entangle with each other in the space-time. What a ineffable miracle among these universes. Chapter 2. In a empty room with just floating light and shadows, in an empty silent room with floating light and shadows, she sits still, thoughts flowing out of her mind, swimming with the light and shadows. So next, knocks on the door. She stands up with hesitation, but the hesitation hasn't shown. It's submerged like beach by the sea water. Outside the door is her deceased beloved. She peacefully places her gaze onto the floor and says, "Please come in," as if welcoming a long-lost guest, long time not seeing guest. He walks to the place next to her without a word. The same way he walks next to her without a word, just like when they first met, unintentionally avoided any exchange of gaze. She sits down, remaining her previous posture, mountain-like still, as if nobody had arrived. Just the light and shadows gradually disappear. All the floating come into peace. The corners of her eyes lights on and off. And then the sun rises across the darkness of the room outside of the window. The orange light elongatedly pokes in across the darkness, but it doesn't, without lifting anything. They both raise their head towards that direction. She stands up, opens another door across the room. Outside is the complex world. In a room of dawn, her body vaguely rises and falls in a month between breaths. She closes the door. She knows he's filled with mirth from head to toe. So is she, like the veins, fresh and ancient. She just stands there in silence. In the morning sun, gazes at the smooth and vacant floor. Vacant silence. He sits in the orange radiance. His figure not flickering at all. The veins go across the long and smooth floor, unites with each other, entangles with each other, entangled together. The veins from both sides, I guess, from him and her. You get it? I don't know. But, I wasn't spiritual. I was a little philosopher, a teenage philosopher I was. I did not believe in any spiritual things because I was never exposed to anything like that. I feel so great that I translated this story. I like writing them. Well, I did write some more in recent years, last year. And they're all kind of this nature. I don't write stories anymore because I think stories are just, it seems like the part of you that knows, that's trying to tell you something, and you just narrates that through, you just narrate, is that right word? In a story, in a flow of a story like this. It's highly spiritual, but I wasn't spiritual at all and didn't believe in God or anything. I was very scientific, I was a science head. I loved science. I loved scientists. I love intelligent people, I followed materialism, in philosophy. Physicalism, that's what I was taught in school. All the teachers, the philosophy, follow that thing. Physicalism, idealism was contempted, treaded, was not taken seriously at all. People who follow idealism would be considered to be dumb, crazy, stupid, uneducated, not rational enough. I was raised in that kind of education. Well, I was not an atheist. I say I would always be I didn't really think about God or anything because, like I said, there's no space for that. I was not exposed to anything related to religion or God, I didn't, so I never got a chance to actually think about it or was convinced somehow or that there is no God, because there was not even a conversation, a debate, an argument, or a part of education about that at all to expose me to anything about God or spirituality at all and dismiss them all. I was not exposed to that. I was just raised, in this physicalist environment, education. So I wasn't agnostic, at most, because I was, like I said, really into thinking, thinking a lot, reading literature mostly. But I was also really inspired by this philosophy book for young people, Sophie's World. I really was passionate about this book. That book would just calm me down, would make me feel really soothed reading it. It took me a long time to read it, a few months, because I would just read it when I felt bad. To read a few pages, I suddenly would feel better. So I kind of saved the book for when I was not feeling okay. Also because maybe it's really condensed with a lot of information, because it discussed all schools of philosophy. So it's heavily packed with information. Or maybe that was too heavy for me because I was doing a lot of study, in high school. A lot of time occupied in academic work. So I probably would prefer something lighter to read, such as literature. And that's what I did. I would read little articles, magazines, or read story, like literature, classic literature, short stories, long stories, novels, proses, poems. Yeah, I loved poems. And I would write a lot, every single day. Every hour I would write a little one sentence or two. If I had more than every noon, I would have like 1 hour free. I would write a lot sometimes. And I filled like 4 or 5 notebooks. And I really loved this story. It really stunned me, It's completely surprising. I thought it was going to be something embarrassing, but not at all. I can't believe that it was 10 years ago, when I was 16 years old, almost 10 years ago. I kind of want to type it down and post it online, share with people, but I also worry that people would read it and they don't get it, maybe criticize it in a mundane way because they don't get it, because they don't have the filter needed to get something like this. I think it's really precious, the precious part of me. I want to share it with people that cherish things, not too egoic, but online, it's a place of ego. Well, it's just a place of ego. I'm still thinking about that guy that's insulted me just to make me mad, I don't know, for whatever reason. I'm still thinking about it. It still brings me down. I thought I wasn't impacted by it at all, but I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. I keep thinking about what he said. I mean, I don't fully agree with that, but I'm sure one part of me really feels that what he says is true, because one part of me feels really unworthy, so really insecure. It takes any criticism seriously, or it tries to take any criticism seriously, because it believes in my unworthiness, so it tries to prove any negative comments true, no matter how outrageously wrong they are. If anybody criticizes me, unless it's completely, I don't know. If you tell me that, if someone tells me that, I'm trying to think of a criticism that wouldn't bring me down at all, wouldn't impact me at all. If someone insults me the way that says, "You are such an a what? Well, I would feel bad. I would feel bad about a lot of remarks. I'm trying to think of one that wouldn't. bring me down at all. You are such a you are so short. Well, does anyone in the world insult a female like that way? I think it's like more like an insult to a male person, right? You're so short. Or you're so, I don't know. I can't think of a thing that wouldn't make me feel bad. He said, I can't stop thinking about it. I don't want to repeat what he said, but I don't know if I shouldn't. Maybe I should. He said I'm pathetic using this app, which makes me laugh. That's the only thing I remember. He says you're so stupid and annoying. I know it's not real, I'm talking, you might laugh, you might say, okay, you believe in that? Come on. But a part of me, like I said, it's really feels sad that he has to say that. It's kind of, I don't know what to say. Like automatically just takes that personally. However, it tries, whatever amount, it takes a little bit of everything personally, because I feel so, this big hole of insecurity inside of me. That's delicate, makes me feel like really easily impacted by these things. I feel really ugly. I feel really not cherished. I feel not precious. I don't know. When I say it out, I kind of don't agree with it. But if I don't say it out, a part of me agrees with it. Part of me, when I'm not saying it out, my rationality is not involved. It's behind my consciousness, so it's agreed upon. But as long as I say it out loud, my rationality looks at it and denies it and disagrees with it. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, a part of me agrees with it. But at least when I say it out loud, my rationality doesn't agree with it. I know I am precious, I am something the world needs, wants, desires. It crazily wants me, people. The world crazily wants someone like me, the light of idealism, of idealists. They want a world of realists. They want more idealism. They want it in a way they don't know. That's why we are here, people like me, are here. That's why I chose to be born in that family, in this country, and among these people. Because they need me. I'm the light. At the same time, I'm not convinced, because nobody tells me that. Nobody comes to me specifically, points at me and say, hey, you are that. I'm telling all this to myself. Kind of like my own story, trying to comfort myself or something. Even if my rationality knows it's true, but this part of me that's not rational, it's conditioning, it's memory, or it's a life experience, not rational, it's experience. The empirical part of me, and just it's conditioned with unworthiness, with just feels not convinced. But that's fine, that's how I always make my way through my life. I always hold something that only I believe in and nobody else does. Actually, they go the opposite way. They want me to go the opposite way, and I'm always like this, and I made it through, and it's quite easy. It's been fairly easy. All I need to do is to just shed off these people, to just leave them behind, leave them apart. It's very easy to do, like a bird seasonally sheds its feather. It's spontaneous, it's effortless. It's like we're not a vibrational match. So they don't impact what I think. I don't impact them. So we just fall apart. That's what it's been like. So, I don't mind a little bit more of that, Okay, if I have to call myself a light worker, well, I don't really identify with this term. I have to call myself a dreamer or a light dreamer, a dream lighter. Oh, a dream lighter, that's the perfect word. If I have to be the only idealist among a bunch of realists that don't talk about dreams, that don't want you to talk about dreams, that want you to be pragmatic and realistic. If I have to be the only one that just insists on talking about dreams, focusing on dreams and nothing, no realism, there's no realism in this world, in pure subjectivity, which is our ultimate reality, which is where we are, which appears to be physical. There is no realism. Everything outside of you follows what's inside of you. If you have to, if you're someone who just can't believe in dreams, and that's what the world you would live in be like, reflecting on that idea back to you. And if I have to be the only person that can light back up the lights of dream in people by living my own dream, by focusing on my light, then I will do it. And even if I am the only person that's telling me this, that's fine. Just, it's not the first time I live this way. Well, all my life I've been living this way. I don't mind it. I am a dream lighter. I love this word. I am a dream lighter. So is everyone. Just they've forgotten, so they need me to carry the fire from our home, our heart. And I'm carrying it. I'm lighting them back up. I'd do it. It's fine. That's meaningful. But again, I kind of feel I need someone else to tell me this. It's not enough that I'm telling me this. I need more people to tell me this. I need someone, some authority to look at me and say, yes, that's true. It's not just a story that I make up. I need someone to tell me that. Nobody, I've met no one in my life that resonates with me and my energy. Nobody, And I shouldn't focus on that. It's like nobody's gonna ever watch my videos. Well, that's not true. Sooner or later, maybe. Sooner or later, I don't know. These words I'm saying will be heard by... Why is it important that my words get heard by human beings? My words are heard right now by the universe. The whole universe of spirits. They hear me right now. Why do they have to be heard by human beings? Because I am a physical being right now, right here. I need other physical beings to hear me, or else I do not have the experience of being heard. Or else it's just like a fantasy in my head, imagining that I'm being heard by spirits that I can't see, that I don't have any experience with. Okay, that's why I need my words heard by human beings. And they are not hearing me. And that's fine, How can I say no? If I'm saying no, I'm putting myself in the hell. That must be fine right now, or else I'm in hell. Sooner or later, my words will be heard. That's the reason why I'm here. Why am I here then? Why would I be here? Because the world needs me. The world wants to hear me. The world needs me here. That's why I'm here. I can't think of any other reason. Because that's just not logical, Look at me. Just look at my life. Look at my people and me, and you can figure it out immediately why I'm here. Why am I so different? I have suffered from loneliness for 10 years. I have to be alone forever. Why would I choose to even be born in a place that doesn't resonate with me at all? Well, of course, to bring more of me here. Because what they have, they can't stand anymore. Or I was looking at what's going on the earth and I decided they need me. Obviously, that would be very obvious to my spirit eyes. So I decided to come here. I decided to be born in a family, in an environment where for the first 20-something years of my life, I would not be a company resonated with at all. For whatever reason, I haven't figured out yet. Well, if I had somebody, had a friend or something, that's what I want forever. That resonates with me completely. Another idealist. I would never have gone through depression, I suppose. Maybe. I'm that tough, I just need one person in my life. And then I would never have gone through all the turmoil I had been through. Because all of the turmoil I've ever been through was the result of my loneliness. I felt alone, completely alone. I felt like a fucking alien, the only idealist in the world of realists. That's what I felt. My direct, immediate experience from people around me. The teachers, students, classmates from all schools have been, all the family members, each and every one of them. All of the teachers, each and every one of them. From when I was born to college, university, everything, everybody. None connected with me. And not just that. All the strangers I've ever met, online, in real life, all of them, none of them. Why would I choose that? I don't know. Just to suffer. If only I just had a twin sister or something. Maybe I wouldn't even have any depression. I wouldn't have any. Maybe I need this, I need this to bring me down, to bring me low enough so that I can connect with the earth energy, which is very low and heavy. If I came here with a loving family that completely resonate with me, and a family of idealists, and I have twin sister siblings that really resonate with me 100%, and I make all the great friends that completely resonate with me, and all the teachers, all the classmates resonate with me. Idealism, light. I would be high up there. I'd be floating. I would never connect with the suffering of the earth. I wouldn't be able to help maybe that way. I don't know, really, because from my perspective, I think I'll be able to help more if I was happy. If I was born happy and a really idealist, I would be able to create a lot more with that. That's from my human perspective. If that was true, then I would be in that situation, right? Because I would have chosen that if that would be of better help. Because of this where I am right now must be of better help. That's why I had chosen it, right? In a way that I don't understand, it's really hard when you don't understand it. If only I could just be told why, how, what. Why is it necessary for me to be in that family, for me to never ever have had a damn fucking friend. Ever.
that resonates with me. You know, I've had friends. I mean, it's not like I never have friends. I've had friends since from when I was a kid, when I was older too. I had a crush in high school, and that really, really helped me. You know, in high school I was not lonely because of him. And in university, when I was really depressed, I had a friend too. You know, we didn't resonate, but he was really important to me. You know. Just, you know, I don't know, maybe he kept me alive longer, you know, without him, maybe I could have died, but I don't know, you know, really. Because I was really lonely with his presence as well. As if, you know, when I think about it, when I was depressed, and no matter he was there or not, I was always depressed. I was not less depressed when he was around, so I don't know if he really made a difference, but I have to believe that he did. I think he did. It's not like I had been alone. I had never been alone, right? If I really look at my life, when I was in elementary school, I had playmates. When I was in high school, I had this crush. When I was in university, I had that friend. And when I moved country, I had other people. Well, they were all people that, you know, had a really short period of time in my life, like less than a year or two. Yeah, nobody longer than 2 years. You know, they would just be there, like in company. They don't resonate, but they were there in company, my company. You know, like that. So I'm like physically never alone. Never like completely physically alone, except for now. Now I'm literally physically completely alone, but now I can handle that. You know, now I can handle it. So, you know, I'm fine. Just trying to reflect on my life and make sense of it right now. I think I'm super interesting, you know. I have a lot to say. I have a lot to give. My light is not extinguishable. That's how I had never killed myself. Well, if I actually thought about it the other day. This is the first time in my life I had ever been really physically alone for this long. I always had someone to hang out with before this point in my life. Since I was born, I always had someone to hang out with. I was never truly physically alone, even if I was always spiritually, mentally, psychologically alone. Never connected with anybody. Right now is the first time in my life that I ever been really physically alone for so long. It's been almost a year now. When it's October, it'll be a year by now. And I'm completely fine with that. And I'm really excited for what's coming, you know. I'm really, really grateful for what I know. Really, really grateful. Spirituality is the best thing ever happened to me. You know, my dream came true through it. The things I didn't even dare to dream came true. You know, in front of my eyes. My dream came true. So right now I don't know what to want. Well, the only thing I want, is still relationships that I want. Connections, resonance. The only thing I want. There's nothing else I want. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I have no more dream or passion, you know. Like all my dream came true. My biggest dream came true. Actually, The other biggest dream of mine is to have a connection. Just one person would be enough. A soulmate or soul family member, they're talking about. Someone that I resonate with, Someone you just know, someone you just connect. Something like that. That's the only thing I want, nothing else. Nothing else I want. Nothing else. And I am, wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'm unhappy. I'm not unhappy at all. I am just not happy enough, you could say. I am like happy some, not enough. If this conversation, one-sided conversation ever gets heard by anyone, no matter it's in the far future after I'm dead already, or no matter it's in a different parallel universe that where it's heard, I thank you. Thank you so much for listening and resonating with me. If you actually do, if you don't talk to me. I'm a jerk. I'm not a jerk. Sometimes I can be a jerk. I don't know. It's not like I'm a jerk, like a bad person. It's just, I don't know what else to be. Because that's really what I want. I really want a resonance. I can't take anything less than that. Because I know anything less than that wouldn't be enough. Like I told you, all my life I've had things less than that. Relationships less than enough. And they are really great people. I love them. When they were in my life. When I think about it, I love them when they were in my life. Well, I didn't while they were in my life, but now when I think about it, I love it that I had. I really am. I'm grateful. So I think only my soulmates would have the chance to be drawn to this video and listen to this point. Really grateful. Thank you. It's really long. I should stop recording. Wow, the moment I look at how the time recorded, it was 1 hour, 44 minutes, 44 seconds. Holy crap. Hello, angels. That's my angel number. I know it because this number is like an old friend. I've known it for over a year. It's been there since right before the beginning of my spiritual journey. It's there, it's given to me. It's sent to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank me for being able to be more articulate than before. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, this app, for being so interesting, And thank you, that jerk that insulted me, and I want to open my heart to you. It still kind of feels difficult, but it doesn't have to be as easy. I open my heart to you, and I bless you. Thank you. Thank you for having had that conversation with me. Not thanking you for insulting me, but thanking you for being there, for existing together with me in this marvelous universe. And I forgive you. Before you even start ask for forgiveness, I give it to you. And thank me for being me, marvelous me, fantastic, most interesting human being in the universe. Okay? I really like this video. I hope you are so lucky that you watched it until this point. You just watched the most interesting person speak. Okay? Thank you. Bye.